Good evening, Team ABC, and thanks for joining us for our first of what may be annual State of ABC. As we've talked about, we've decided to kind of decouple the Christmas parties from the business part of the ABC, and so at each of the parties we're celebrating, having fun, and doing those kinds of things. And so tonight we're going to share with you some of the important metrics and numbers of the year, kind of how 2023 went. I'll talk about mainly revenue and such, and then of course I'll turn it over to Matt to talk about profitability. But let me just say a couple of things. It wasn't a great year. It was kind of what I would say is an okay year. Just to give you context, at the end of the year, our growth is going to be about 8%. And remember, we had budgeted about 13.5% growth overall, so we missed that mark by a good bit. And I think we all know the economy in all of our markets throughout the whole country was iffy at best. I've referred to it a couple of times as kind of a squishy economy. It wasn't very robust. So I think that affected us. That affected us from an economy standpoint with some of the bigger jobs that we do, maybe some of the big landscape projects, big tunneling projects in plumbing and other things. So kind of some effect with the economy, but we expect our revenue to come in just under $150 million. So we've continued to grow, and that's good, but with that budget, we were budgeting up over $156 million. So we'll come in right under $150 million for about an 8% increase. Kind of break it down very quickly as far as the service lines. The pest division should be up about 5%, so that's where they'll finish up. Lawn actually had a really good year. They're going to end up being up about 13%. Mechanical, not as good as it's been in the past. Still solid at 6%, but we were down in certain areas, and so, previous to this year, mechanical was generally up in that 16, 17, 18, 20% for many years. Home improvement actually led the way, and a lot of good things there. They were up about 20%. As far as the markets go, Austin was pretty solid, actually, at about 8.5% up. San Antonio, very solid, 11.5% up. Corpus Christi was the one that we've got work to do, quite frankly. We're down about 7% down there, and so we're working very diligently there. Bryan-College Station had a great year with a solid 16% up, and down in the Rio Grande Valley, we're up 31%, so exciting there as we're getting things moving in that regard. So from a revenue standpoint, not where we needed to be, but still positive. I'm going to let Matt now kind of take those revenue numbers and talk about what it meant from a profitability standpoint.
Yeah, thanks, Bobby. And I think the profits are reflective of the revenues. Truthfully, they were pretty good, and we've got a pretty good bonus for everybody. But the punchline is our profits were right at 7.6%. Last year we were a touch over 9%, so about a 1.5 difference. So. And that is really reflective of not hitting those revenue figures by and large. I mean, specifically, our labor was actually up a bit, about a 1.5, but in one respect, that's okay because we more than offset that with better utilization of our materials and supplies. We got a break on the price of gas most of the year, so our fleet costs were down. So really what we call variable expenses we're actually about even with last year. And just a point on the labor, yes, our labor was up, but the good thing is our average pay was up. It wasn't just because we have more people. We actually had an increase in overall average pay. We'll talk about more about that next year and how we really measure that type of thing. But that's a good thing. But like I said, if you just look at what we call our gross margin, we were about even with last year. Once you take into account we did better on materials and supplies and better on fleet. Where we really lost it, and the 1.5 difference is what I'm talking about, was really three areas. It was our insurance costs, and I'm talking about general liability, fleet, and workers' comp. Those costs have just gone through the roof. Unfortunately, the Thomas J. Henrys of the world have made our insurances much more expensive. We also went up really what I want to call really our benefit cost in terms of health insurance. Again, the market drives that more than our own losses. but that was where we lost about a half a point. And then the other half a point was what I want to call G&A expenses. And that's what Bobby mentioned about the kind of the economy and the inflation. We really got nickel and dimed almost with every single G&A expense. And those are things like our printing, our postage, our utilities, travel, phone, repair, uniforms, damage claims, discounts. All those were up a little bit. And when you add them all together, that was another half point. And that's really why we were at 7.6 instead of that over 9 like we were last year. When we don't hit the revenue figures, those fixed expenses go up a little bit as a percentage of our overall costs. So that's really where we missed the mark. Where we're going to try and gain that back next year, truthfully, is we are going to do some price increases. We'll talk with each of our division managers, kind of get an idea of where we think we have room for price increases. But that is the one way that you can overcome that, I'll call it overhead expense creep. We can raise our prices a little bit, and I think that's going to bring us back in line where we need to be. Overall, we're in good financial health. Our cash position's good. We've done a great job of putting money in the bank. Hopefully, our insurance costs will moderate a little bit, but that's where we need to make it back. And, we're still very bullish on how this company's doing. We're in good financial shape, and it's really a matter of let's see if we can get that revenue growth back to where we're used to.
Yeah, I'd say, Matt, those numbers are solid, right? They're not where we want to be. They're not where we've been historically. But given the economy, I think we performed okay. And so, I think there's a lot of businesses that would trade what they did this past year with what we did this year in a heartbeat. So still not where we want to be and where we expect to be and where we've been historically, but definitely rock solid. But we are, to your point, looking to be bullish on next year. And I want to give you a couple of other key metrics that I wanted to share with everybody as we final out the year. Some of the things that I think are important that we haven't talked about a lot. We do talk about all the time our Net Promoter Score. And so when we talk about what we do as a business, you and I have talked about this a lot. We always hinge it on we got to deliver a great service, right? We've got to put a great person on the doorstep doing a great job. And our Net Promoter Score says that we're doing that. And so that number stayed at that 94.5. We've been very, very consistent. Across the board, all of our services are doing a great job, and we're very, very proud of that. A couple of other things I wanted to say. You talked about the pay has gone up. That's a good thing. The other thing that's gone up, and we're starting to measure this a lot more, is promotions. We had 77 people who were promoted at ABC in this past year, and that's what we talk about a lot. We've talked about, and everybody's participated in our strategic planning, all right? And such a big part of what we do when it comes to education and training and advancement, those are key things that are there. And so I wanted to report that number back to everybody. The other thing that I wanted to share with people is kind of a look ahead of what we're talking about for next year. We didn't get the results exactly that we like, so what are we going to do about it? We always say you can't do what you've done and expect to get different results. And so bullish is the right idea, but we already have done a couple of things. Up there in Bell County, we've got a new location up there that we're renting, and we're actually right there just on I-35 south of Belton. And the point on that is that we're going to make a big effort to really grow that Bell County, that Belton area. And so we're excited about that. And quite frankly, we think that from there, we're going to start encroaching up into Waco. Waco has been on our radar for many years, and I think this may be the year that we get more aggressive with moving into Waco. The other one that we've been looking at, and we're exploring possibilities, we're talking to a couple of possible acquisitions, would be the Hill Country area. So that Kerrville, Fredericksburg, that Hill Country north of San Antonio all the way up till west of Austin. We're excited about that. The other thing we've talked a little bit about, and Matt and I are going to explore this, we think we've got a great service line, a menu of services, but we've had some breakfasts with a lot of our office staff and lunches with them, and the one call that keeps coming in that people say, well, why don't you do is the
maid service.
Yeah.
And if we were to run across a an attractive acquisition in that line of work, we would definitely look hard at it, because, like Bobby said, when we have lunches or talk to our CSR group, that is the most requested service that we get.
You know, and that's what we do at ABC, right? Is we talk to our customers, we listen to our people in the field, we look for those opportunities. Sometimes it's an opportunity for an acquisition. Sometimes it says, well, you know what? We're going to get a good person and we're going to put the flag in the ground and here we go. And so we're looking at all of those. But the point is, we're not going to stand still. We're going to continue to be aggressive. We're still bullish. We think the economy, man, I've talked about this a good bit. We think the economy is probably not going to get great next year, but I think, and you weigh in on this, that there's some stabilization. Interest rates are not going up as rapidly as they were. There's a lot of uncertainty in the world stage, but I do think that there's the thought that things are getting a little more stable from an economic standpoint.
Yeah, for sure. And when you read about interest rates, it's a key to so many things. It's a key to home purchases. It's a key to, any kind of car purchase or anything like that. So when people spend more on those big ticket items, there's a little bit less to spend maybe at ABC. So hopefully if those interest rates start to creep down a little bit, it'll juice the economy a little bit, and we'll get back to where we need to be.
And like we've always said, we say this every time, we're blessed. We're blessed to be in Texas. We're blessed to be in the markets that we're in. Those are going to continue to grow. People are still continuing to move to Texas. It's a great place to raise a family and build a business. A couple of other updates I wanted to give very, very quickly. One is the San Antonio property. We haven't closed. We're doing due diligence on some property on 1604 there in San Antonio, and our vision is we'll keep the I-35 property. We'll keep the property that we're renting where our mechanical group is for a time, and we'll build more of a lawn facility on that 1604 property. It's 15 acres or so. So we're going through due diligence with engineers and then making sure it's zoned appropriately, but we expect to close on that early in the first quarter and then start deciding what do we want to build there. So again, very excited about what's going on in San Antonio and going to make sure that we have facilities that allow us to continue to grow and do the work that we do. Brings us to the Austin property. We've thought about all kinds of things here in Austin over the past year or so. We've thought about building a west facility, and we've thought about doing more satellites and things like that. But really what we're thinking about doing right now, and we're in the process, again, we'll have people here at this property looking at it and engineers looking at it, is taking this 290 property. We sit on 9 acres, and we've got the main building, we've got the big warehouse where mechanical is located, and we've got the lawn warehouse. And the rest of it is, well, what could we do on this property to add more warehouse space, to add some more office space? So we're looking at how do we re-envision this 290 property to make it more efficient and so that we can continue to grow and theoretically be here for another 10 years. And so that's kind of where we are right now. We'll keep everyone posted on what we're doing with this Austin property. So those are some of the key things that Matt and I wanted to share with everybody about how the year went. Wanted you to get a little bit of flavor of what we're going to be doing. I'll also take this opportunity to let everyone know you'll be getting some specific dates. We're going to be doing our ownership thinking meetings again. We've done those in the past where we bring everybody in the evening, we serve dinner, we work on 2 key questions. One, how do we make ABC a better place for us all to work at? And 2, how do we make ABC's service the best that it can possibly be for each of our customers? And so the idea is we're going to break up into groups. We'll bring here in Austin, we'll bring the mechanical team in one evening, we'll bring the lawn team and the pest team, and we'll bring the office people all at different times and really work on those 2 questions about how we can get better. We're also, of course, continue, and we'll do that in the branches also. So each of the branches will do this ownership thinking meeting and work on those 2 questions. We're also continuing, as you all know, to work on that strategic plan, that 5-year plan that we've put out there, where we're working on engagement, we're working on communication, and we're working on training and advancement. So not just technical training, but manager training, so to help everybody grow and be able to have a really good career path. So those are all actively working also. So the point on that is, Matt, that I think about 2024, I get excited. We are in a good place. We've got a rock-solid foundation, as you said, from so many levels. We're providing a great service. We're in a great market in all of the places. We just got to keep going. We got to keep doing what we're doing, and I'm very excited about that. And so I look forward to 2024, and I know that I'll let Matt say it also, but I'm also, as we close 2023, I'm very grateful. I'm very grateful and thankful for the people that we have at ABC, the team that we've got. We've got incredible people here. We've got great talent. The future is very, very bright for us, and I will make a personal wish as we close out the year that everybody have a wonderful holiday season and a very Merry Christmas, and I look forward to the new year. And anything you want to add on that?
Yeah, no, just the same, Bobby, but I really want to thank everybody for the hard work. And we had breakfast with another group this morning, and just when you hear the people's stories about how they feel about ABC, it really makes us feel good. And creating opportunity is something we want to continue to do. But thanks for all the hard work you guys do. We do really appreciate it. Merry Christmas and Happy New Year to you and all your families. We really are blessed.
Yep.
And I am bullish for 24, and I think it's going to be a great year.
Yep, look forward to that. So everybody, Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays. Be safe out there. Always be safe over the holidays. All right, everybody. Thank you very much.
Thanks, everybody.